Well, good evening, good morning, and good night, wherever you are on this good old earth. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, well, you have it, the craziness in our society. But the title of tonight's program is called, Is the World Ready? Well, and guess what? At the end here, well, at the beginning and the end, throughout the whole duration of this program, we are going to be participating in the chat. We're all going to engage together here if you'd like to. A live chat, and we're going to have a conversation, something I haven't done in a long period of time on Visual Disturbance. And anybody out there, if you have not been to Visual Disturbance, share this thing out, hit the like button, share it out, and it's going to be an interactive type of broadcast tonight. So I want to thank you all so much for being here, and a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. And if anybody engages in the chat there, hits the super chat tonight, I will give them a shout out on the broadcast. So we're going to interact in the chat, and let's just get into it tonight. Well, is the world ready? I think they're not ready. What do you guys think? A lot's going on in our society, folks. Welcome to the channel of Visual Disturbance. I'm your host, and we are back here once again for a lot to discuss. A lot in the news, a lot of coming across the airwaves. A lot of people out there in this realm are questioning a lot of things. There's a lot of speculation going on all ends. It seems like things are coming off the rails pretty quick. And then you turn around, you'll see, the pulling and tugging in every direction that you could possibly imagine. It's getting kind of entertaining when it comes to the powers that be. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a man. But thank y'all for being part of this channel tonight. We're going to interact with the channel in the chat too tonight. Been hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit. A lot of people have heard me say that on the channel. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's have some fun here on the channel here tonight. Let's interact with the chat. And there's the chat on the screen there. And we'll have that engagement here shortly. So, like I said, welcome to the channel. So, with that being said, have y'all seen the news? Have you seen the things going on in Alaska? I got to watch what I say here. Got to respect the channel and the YouTube policies because they let me use their platform. So I get it. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff indeed. A lot of rumors of wars. A lot of different things that a man would be in fear of right now, right? A lot of fear-mongering going around in our reality. A lot of people don't know which end is which. It seems like the rails have came off and the train is going down the street, hitting the asphalt. So, have you guys heard about what happened in Alaska and different things going on with the interception of fighter jets? And then also the news that just dropped today talking about a particular thing that went down in the Pentagon and talking about a secret meeting that went down. Have you guys heard about that? Have y'all heard? Let's play a clip here because this guy explains it a lot. There was a secret meeting that was taking place today with admirals and generals and what have you, and people even in the field. And check this out. This young man speaks about it, and let's just play this clip here real quick.
Event that's about to take place may be the largest gathering of generals that's ever gotten together in U.S. history. Apparently on September 25th of 2025, the U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth issued an order summoning hundreds of senior military officers, including generals and admirals from the Navy, the Army, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, and Space Force for a closed-door meeting at Marine Corps Base Quantico in Virginia. Apparently the meeting is supposed to be scheduled for Tuesday, September 30th of 2025, and it applies to all officers that are the rank of brigadier general or higher, and all of their top senior enlisted advisors as well. Estimates of attendees are varying currently, but some reports are citing that there could be nearly up to 800 participants, including staff, even though senior leaders appear to be somewhat unaware of the full scope or purpose of this thing. Even officers that are currently in active conflict zones are expected to attend this meeting, which makes me think that something urgent is happening. Now, the Pentagon spokesman spokesman Sean Parnell confirmed the event, stating that, quote, the Secretary of War will be addressing his senior military leaders early next week, end quote, but provided no further details on the agenda. Now, something I think is very interesting is that a very senior Pentagon correspondent with 30 plus years of experience described it as an unprecedented event in their career, saying, quote, I've never seen anything like this. We might be going to war, end quote. Now, the lack of stated agenda has fueled further speculation and unease from a lot of people, with one anonymous source telling the Washington Post that, quote, people are very concerned. They have no idea what it means, end quote. Now, from what folks have said, the last time this many senior officers and leaders got together was during the Goldwater-Nichols Act of 1986, which totally restructured the entire military command, but nobody's saying anything about what's actually going to be discussed yet. So believe me, when I find out, I will keep you guys updated, because this is huge.
Well, there you have it, folks. A lot going on. Hegseth is called for a secret meeting today. Worldwide. You know, I just did a little video the other night, folks. I was looking into the drones again, the whole thing in Denmark. Well, guess what? Since I did that video a few days back, here we are doing a live stream here on this Thursday evening. Guess what? The drones are back. They've been going on for the last few days. What's going on? I had speculation. I looked at a lot of different resources, started to scan through the web of things, and I've seen a lot of people talking about the 3-eye atlas. We've talked about it many times here on the Visual Disturbance channel, and it's very compelling to me. What's really going on? What's really going on in our realm? They keep us in the dark for reasons that we do not know. But it's just interesting today, because I was looking on the Twitter, on the X, and there's more drones been spotted. That was an hour ago in Denmark, and they're claiming very bad news according to the report. But here's what's so stunning about the whole narrative. When you try to approach these things in the airwaves, you know, there's fighter jets in the sky or what have you, and they're trying to figure out how to take it down. The Danish have been involved. I think in Germany, they had some cross the border, and these drones are going to these highly sophisticated army bases or airports and shutting them down and grounding them. So really, what is going on, folks? And then you have this secret meeting with all these U.S. Secretary of War, with the U.S. generals and all that, and the admirals and the Marine Corps going and hanging out and having a little coffee break. And I'm just joking, sarcasm inserted. But one would have to wonder what is going on. And I think it's a little bit of everything. Has anybody ever thought about it? What's really going on in reality? You know, we're being tested on every corner, every crack and crevice. We can't even tell how to even get down to the street without our GPSs on. We have been shifted in our reality as far as mankind. And when these things come up, we're just like this. We just put our hands up because, you know, we have to back up the military. And if you got any veterans out there, big shout out to you guys in the Visual Disturbance chat. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys. I know I'm always all big advocate for veterans, truck drivers, you name it. I love humanity. And big shout out to you guys, though, because y'all sacrifice so much. So I know that there's these men take oaths. They can't, it's secrecy. I get it. And rightfully so. Because, you know, I'll just throw this out here. We don't take, you know, certain people take things and fabricate it when news drops, right? And I don't know if it's human nature or whatever it is, but once it gets to the second person, it can be in fairy tale land past that point. You know, the 80% integrity of that original thought or whatever, it's fabricated and spliced up into a billion pieces, and it gets split off into oblivion. So I guess no wonder they have protocols to not give all the information out to the public, because people start getting into pandemonium in the streets and become panic mode. So I see it all the time, and no wonder. So God bless the veterans and everybody out there trying to protect our country from whatever, okay? You know, when it comes to whatever. I don't really talk about this subject much here on the channel, but I do know that it seems kind of eerie feeling in the airwaves. Anybody out there in the airwaves? Anybody in the chat? feel like there's like this something large, something breathtakingly changing our realities. Anybody out there, anybody in the chat thinking there's anything going on? I got a woohoo. I got a woohoo, and I got a woohoo, and I believe I think I got a super chat there. Bless you. And I think it's Now You See TV. No joke. Woo! Big shout out to Now You See TV folks out there. But yeah, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it abundantly. But yeah, woohoo, because woohoo, here we are down the rabbit hole. And when you think about, thanks again, Now You See TV. And when you think about stuff like this, you think about our just paradigm of our reality and how things have just escalated abundantly since the last 25 years. Okay. We've had the 2001 event and things just went off into the Richter scale, right? I mean, it just went off into oblivion. And, you know, there's somebody in the chat right now, Nibiru flying through. Look, you know, they're claiming Saturn is waking up. They're claiming that we have all these different things they're claiming. These Denmark drones are green, emerald color, floating around the airport, and people are in disarray. They don't even know what's going on. They're claims that they're disappearing if they look at them a certain way, or their holographic technology, whatever's going on. It just gets weirder and stranger and more. And the word, I don't even know, diabolical, because we're sitting here at the mercy of whatever this is. And I think about it all the time, fallen angel technology, whatever you want to call it, okay? These things are what the Bible talks about when it goes to Ephesians 6, verse 12, principalities. We've said it many, many times here on the channel. These principalities, these dominions, these thrones, these things are working on an interdimensional concept, an interdimensional reality, okay? So once these things can like go through whatever they have to do, light speed, whatever, through our peripheral, and they manifest, there's something happening. So we've read this many, many times here on the channel talking about these drones, and they was in New Jersey last year. Same thing, right? We talked about the mothership that's off the coast that's deploying the drones. It's all this rhetoric, constantly rhetoric. And you know, you have people that are of higher stature speaking about these things. And my 2 cents on this is I think this emergency meeting has to do, well, there's somebody in the chat was saying Nibiru. And when I think about this, though, I'm thinking more gravitating to the 3-eye atlas, okay? Because whatever it is, they're saying it's greenish blue. So Saturn's waking up, they're greenish blue. The drones are greenish blue. The light bulbs are greenish blue in Kentucky. Everything's greenish blue, right? Everything is. It's just getting so much bizarro world out there. It's hard to even keep up with like what you're doing, right? And I was on the phone with a friend earlier today. Whatever you take, like we have to just take care of what we can take care of. We can't take care of the spiritual stuff. We can't go and fight a galactic dimensional insanity. We're human. We're here on the earth. We can't be jumping through portals with the hyperspeed or whatever they want to call it. I guess we don't. Well, here's the deal. We don't have the right suits. Okay. We don't have the right technology. The good old boys from Kentucky Bluegrass State, all we got is empty milk bottles. Okay. Expired milk from 2019. A little insert of fun entertainment purposes only there for a little pass plug in. But yeah, it gets more bizarro world as it starts off. So let's just jump into Brian Norman. Got his coffee going there. He caught me by surprise. Get your coffee going. So also, speaking of, a little bit more crazier, and when you think about the Turkish thing, Turkey has signed a nuclear deal with the U.S. today. Thought it was really weird. Thought it was crazy. And I looked a little bit more into it. They're going to be talking about infrastructure with energy sources and nuclear capabilities, things that reactor programs, and to be able to advance America in a different way. And I see it, but like I said, I got to not really take a deep dive into these topics tonight. Got to watch what I say, even though it's 2025, respecting the platform. But yeah, it just keeps getting weirder and weirder by the time and by the hour. So this one was interesting too. Hungary fighters intercept 5 Russian planes over the Baltic. And that was made from the statement from the NATO command. So, rumors of wars and stuff like that. And then we have, you got primetime videos of Netflix binge watching and everything that keeps you just nice and distracted. And it's just interesting to me. The whole thing is interesting. It's almost like this AI reality paradigm or whatever it is really wants to test us on our attributes or characteristics, how we think, how we talk, and they're just throwing out whatever fish bait they can throw out, if it's good or bad or ugly. And they're wanting people to, on their biometrics, I know I'm not trying to go new agey here, I'm not. But when you look at the biometrics and the way this whole infrastructure of this new matrix, this new so-called paradigm that we're getting shifted into, it's almost like they're pulling on our sin strings, right? And I've said this many times, when you think about the fallen angels in the daughters of men scenario in Genesis 6, when they took wives as they chose, so they already had everything mapped out, folks. Okay, the anatomy and everything from head to toe. And you don't think they can pull on us now and get us to go back and think and go tribalistic mode? Just think about what's happened in the last few weeks, and we're not going to talk about it. But look what just happened in the last few weeks. There's just subliminal messaging everywhere. You got death and evilness all the time. And, it's almost like they're tuning us for something. Well, you got to throw in the mix. You got to throw in the AI mechanisms. So what if you got these drones that just play cat and mouse, Marco Polo, whatever you want to call it. They're bouncing in and out of the interdimensional concept, whatever. Okay. And it's funny, some of the drones in Denmark have a light over top of them. So they're so highly sophisticated that they got flashing lights on them. But here's the thing. I read one time that they can cloak. They can mimic what the human sees. So we're talking about holographic technology and make it feel familiar. But here's the kicker. The ones in Denmark and all these other airports and military facilities, there's no sound. There's no turbine. There's no engine. There's no, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing going on. It's just hovering over like the quietest drone ever made by mankind. So whatever it is here, there's more to it that meets the eye. I mean, really. And it's got my brain turning in a different direction. Okay. And there's another post here talking about drones are being reported over the North Sea light at night. So it just keeps getting more bizarre. And, at the very bottom there, I thought this one was interesting. I'll include that one. Russia's Noah's Ark satellite carrying 75 mice and 1,500 flies lands back on Earth. It's interesting to me when you think about this. There was people posting on here saying, why is this happening right now? Why does this come crashing back to the Earth, for the mice and the flies, like what's going on here? And it's just strange to me. The whole thing is just bizarro land. I've heard many things about DNA synchronizing and all that. There's pods like this from other countries that they send up different things. I mean, you name it. I'm going to try to keep it PG on here, but certain bodily fluids that's up in the airwaves floating around in these so-called, well, as you see here, a pod. So every time you turn around, there's a circle or a pod. I don't see many triangles besides a few of those, let's just say, spacecraft that humans have supposedly made. But you usually see the orbs now. It's all about the orbs and the drones. Anything in a circular shape. What's your all's take on it? Anybody out there? Anybody? Anybody out there? Anybody in the chat? Let's see if I can get this thing to deploy here. Move a little bit more down it. Yeah. There's Ray. Oh, big shout out to Brian Norman. Priscilla. Yeah, bless you guys for being here. But yeah, so we have not only things coming down upon the earth and we're going up in the sky, we got let's just say the waters controlled too. And I just watched the other day, I did it for, let's just say I did it for entertainment purposes only. I don't get into movies much, but I watched it on my free time. I I don't like movies that just cuss all the time, just say profanity. It just drives me insane. It drives me crazy. But I went back and referenced the movie The Abyss. Okay, it was a 1989 film, a James Cameron film, talking about let's just say aliens that are under the water. Okay, a lot to chew on there, a lot to really focus on and comprehend, especially when it comes to the UFO and alien phenomenon. And then what got me enticed to watch it was Eric Burleson, the gentleman from one of the senators, Republicans, talking about that. I think he's from Missouri, talking about the UFO disclosure and all that, and trying to get that passed and everything. So it turned me to that. And it's interesting that we've got this situation here that Danish media reveals that the Russian Navy, we have Navy going on here with this landing ship, right? And so all these different things that are going on, we got the drones out there, we got the reports of these ships out there, so we got the water waves, the airwaves, everything locked down. What is going on is the question. What is really going on? And when I think about all this, folks, it's just one thing after another. I mean, it is. It's one thing after another. We got the whole thing with the whole principle behind the director of the movie The Abyss, and he showed so many different things that are just eye-opening to me when it comes to amniotic fluid and the different things to that level. And there was mice or rat in that film, and that film has been remastered. And basically, just to kind of paraphrase, we have us a craft underneath the ground in the depths of the ocean. It was 1989. It just makes you think of the Tic Tacs and what's really going on in our depths of the ocean. So one would have to wonder indeed, what is really going on? Like, for real. What is our reality, and how is this all correlating with our what's going to be coming upon the earth? And the Bible says all the time, when you speaking off the page, but when you have to give me a break, folks. I'm in a lot of pain. Hello. But when you're looking at the thing with the Bible and it speaks about the things that come upon the earth, men's hearts will fail them. You know, I'm looking at that right now. I'm thinking about that. Thinking about if these things are all correlated with something, if something's hidden, it would be hidden under the water. If it'd be hidden in the air, it'd be hidden anywhere, right? And what would be a good place to hide stuff would be in the oceans, because the depth and this, you have to have certain types of scuba gear, and then heck, even that is not good enough. And you have to have special equipment to even go down to those depths. So it's dangerous. One would have to wonder if what have they found and they're just not disclosing. You know, I did a little program not too long ago with Tim Burchett walking the sidewalks and speaking upon, somebody came upon him and asked him, he's like, there's 5 to 6 underwater bases that are alien. They've been here forever. And that's interesting, right? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So we have principalities and wickedness upon us. We have stuff that's embedded into our reality that we was born into, and we've been kind of, let's just say, detoured and put in a different direction until now. And I've always asked on the Visual Disturbance channel, why? Why is this all happening now at 2025? But if you look through antiquity and look through the Mayans and everything, there was this moment in time that 2025 would be the year of the great so-called transition phase, like the shifting to that one point in time. And then people that, new people come to the channel, they'll be like, hey, we're going through a timeline shift. We're going to the new Earth. We're going to the 5D Earth. We're going to the 3D Earth. We're going to the 4D Earth, whatever. I'm not making fun of anybody out there. To me, that's wild. If there's anything to it, who am I? And I'm not giving any credence to that or saying that it's reality. Everybody is entitled for their opinion. And God bless you, if you're here. So it's a wacky world out there. It's like cowboys and Indians back in the day with high-tech redneck equipment. That's what it is. It is. I think we've kind of upped our game a little bit. Sarcasm inserted once again. Anyways, moving on. There's just many things that has got my attention. Many things. So let's play another clip. Let's play another clip of this in Poland that was recorded last night. Okay, so check this out. This is what they're reporting, and it's very similar to the New Jersey drones, what was going on down in that area. What was that? Not too long ago. So check this out. Replay it here. And see, that one's making noise. Well, what I could probably think about and say to this is maybe there's an airplane going over. And maybe the person that was recording it obviously didn't pick up, because he wouldn't be able to, because the turbine jets on the jet plane or the airplane would basically take out the sound, if there was any sound of this other particular object, because it's another object in the sky. It's interesting, folks. It's interesting on where we're at. It really is interesting. We have off-world civilization or something going on in our reality. We got to, because this stuff has been well hidden. All right. I'm going to say a few comments here in the chat, because get the chat going, because that's what it's all about. I said that at the beginning of the program. I don't want you guys feeling like I messed you up. Like, I don't want y'all to think this is clickbait. So let's see if there's anything, a good quote here. A good quote. A good comment. Let's see. Just looking for a good comment, folks. Sorry for the pause here. I've got it blowed up on my screen. You can't even see that part, but saw my first mothership last night. Interesting. Wow. I seen somebody comment earlier, the clouds are not acting right. I know, right? People be like, well, Brian, it's just normal. It's just normal. It's the cumulative clouds or whatever. A little spray make you go cray, Brian. Why do you even worry about that? Well, it does, when you just observe things, it is something to really kind of check off the box as abnormal. I got another thing to ask you guys. Wherever y'all are from in the good old earth that we live in, if you're from New Zealand, Australia, wherever, welcome to the Visual Disturbance channel. Have you guys seen anything about weird anomaly with the animals? Has any of your dogs been acting up in the middle of the night? Has anybody been having issues during the, I don't know, all times, all hours throughout the day? Has anybody noticed any kind of weird, if their animals are looking up inside the house, staring at the wall, whatever, something out of the ordinary? Has anybody been seeing anything like that? Okay, so we got David Lawson. Bro, I've been looking at the clouds for 46 years and it's weird now. They are lower. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Yeah. Maybe it's the Great Shift. I kid you not, folks. I seen somebody the other day. It was on an astronomy website talking about that we went through a black hole and we're submerged in it right now. That's why everybody's losing their wit about them, and that's why the magnetic field is weakening and your biosphere, your magnetic sphere, and it's all pandemonium in the street and we're all become zombies. No joke. You see this stuff all the time and it just makes my brain hurt. And it's like, where's the credibility? How do you even, because like, even, okay, let's just say you know it all. Let's just say there's a person out there that knows it all. How come you can't give everybody the information? Why is everybody just left hanging, high and dry? What's going on? Really? What's going on? But I see why. I know why. But it just makes you, it just makes you wonder. So I'm skimming through Twitter here on X. A lot of people are saying that there's UAPs in Yemen right now. I even heard that earlier there was a ballistic missile that was fired. No joke. And they're saying it's UAP. Whatever. I don't even know. It's getting crazier by the. You have to take everything with a grain of salt, and it's hard to really, let's just say, fact check everything because there's so much coming at us. There's so much information being shoved down our throat, and a lot of it might not even be real. So that's another problem. That's another problem. Let's see. Here is a Danish authorities issued a statement on the mystery of drone incursions that have shut down multiple airports. Let's just go ahead and pop this in here. Let's just see what this video has to say here. If we can make it out. One moment.
Dronernes måde at operere på, størrelsen, deres tid over målet, gjorde, at vi har konkluderet, at der formentlig er det, vi kalder en kapabel aktør, der står bag ved anvendelsen af de her droner. I forbindelse med vores arbejde derude er det vores vurdering, at der selvfølgelig har været en potentiel risiko for lufttrafikken. Hvis man flyver rundt med droner i et luftrum omkring en lufthavn, er der en potentiel risiko. Vi er ikke vidne om, at der har været konkrete.
I'm trying to read the captions there, so one moment. We're now aware that have been, let me go back, that a specific dangerous situation, that is, the people were in danger last night, and I think that's important to say. Let me go back, because I was having a hard time keeping track. The drone way of operating the length of their time over their target meant that they have concluded there's probably what we call a captor actor behind the use of a capable, excuse me, I'm trying to zoom in to look at it, behind the use of the drones. Well, I can state the factual conditions surrounding the drones. As I said, number, size, flight patterns, time over the airport. This all indicates, based on the overall assessment, that this is a capable player. And then they just go on, and there you go. But yeah, there's a little bit of clip of it. You could barely see it was cut off, but yeah, there's the original footage from the airport in Denmark. And then, yeah, folks, comment if you're a drone pilot. If you have any expertise, if you've ever seen anything like this in your life, is there anything to this? There's just a bunch of people just making up stuff. That's what I'm asking. What is it? What's going on here? Oh, man. Let's see. Just kind of keeping tracks of what they're saying. Wow. It's a little laid back program today. Like I said, we're just going to talk and engage in the chat, let you guys interact with me. In the future, very soon, I'm going to try to figure out a way to, well, I know many ways to doing it, where you guys can call in or speak about a certain topic. But with that being said, I'll have to put, let's just say, things in place to say, look, whatever topic we're going to be talking about, you got to stay on topic the whole entire time. So, because going live, sometimes, you know, having somebody just come in, they sometimes say things that they probably couldn't get by with on YouTube. But scientists are now claiming the 3i Atlas, which is allegedly heading towards Earth, weighs over 33, there it is, folks, imagine that, billion tons. This story isn't going away and only gets more insane by the day. So there's a little picture here. We've showed it here on Visual Disturbance. It's just fun, entertainment purposes only. So that's all I know. Wow, that's another one too. One moment, this is pretty wild stuff. Check this out. Breaking, you gotta love this, folks. NASA considering nuking a city-killing asteroid on possible collision path with the moon. It reminds me of the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis. I mean, how much more predictive programming can you even imagine? Let me go back to the chat real quick because I think I seen somebody that with an interesting take, and I want to make sure I got to them on that. Let's see. Nigel Nibiru is coming through, waking up. What is supposed to? Oh, the firmament lower. Yeah, I like that. That comment's kind of interesting. I've always speculated certain things that are in our skies that make you wonder really what's going on. And there's a way to measure that. Yes, a lot of people get upset about the topic of trying to figure out what the shape of the earth is and all that, but all of it's compelling to me. All of it. Let's see. You can always, the doctor is always on it. I will be answering questions in a little bit. Forgive me for answering my own questions. One moment. Poland has been called its citizens to immediately leave in certain places. I just seen that on breaking news too. Wow. And then there's also starting to see multiple unconfirmed reports of new drones just in the last 45 minutes over Denmark just now. How strange. How strange. Okay. Let's see. This one's interesting too. A passenger jet flying from Amsterdam to Aalborg forced to turn back. I think it's how you say it. Aalborg Airport and Aalborg Military Air Base are forced to close down following new drone incursions moments ago. It's you gotta just love this. It's the third time it happens in Denmark in the past 3 days. So we got Amsterdam. We got a lot of things going on in our reality. So speaking of, let's just have some fun. I wasn't even going to bring this up in the broadcast tonight, but I'm going to do it anyways. Folks. I'm going to pull something up I haven't done in a long time. Hello out there. I just got blasted with a lot of light. I don't do too good with light sometimes, folks. I can tell you that. Let me type this in. We're going to go do a little Google Earth imagery. How about that, folks? Anybody out there like a little Google Earth imagery? Some people say I'm the master of it, but I would not brag. I'm amateur at best. But thank you all for the lovely, lovely words of encouragement. Let's just go to Denmark. Let's just get it into it. Let's just see if I can pull it up here. If I can't, we'll just chuck it up as a loss here. But hang on a minute. That's the wrong thing. Hello. One moment. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah. It'll be just a second. Let's see here. Live stream's all about. This is off the cuff, exposing the insanity that's going on in our world. One moment. Let me see if I can pull this Google Earth up. Let's see. Let's turn this off. And let's get her done. There we go. Just do that. Well, all right, here we go. It's this one. Here we go. We got it now. Sorry for the technical difficulties, folks. But yeah, so I wanted to point something out here. Let's get back on the horse. I want to point something back out here for everybody. So the indicator here with all the red indicator lights and the names here with the stars. If anybody's been following the channel for a long period of time, I love to talk about star forts. And we can sit here and speculate. We can go down a big rabbit hole and say, hey, there's all this oceans here, and is there something coming out of the water? Is the Google Earth not exposing all the hidden maps of ancient antiquity? But I got this theory, so hear me out. And all these lines here, if you've been following me for a while, these are ley lines, indicator where the ley lines are. And these red bullseye-looking markers, as you can see there, Karup Air Base. So we have an air base here. We have Denmark. Okay. We have many, many star forts, many of them all around this area. You can't make it up, folks. We have a ton. And we only, in my neck of the woods in the Bluegrass State, we don't have many. We only got one. I've been meant to go out there and check that area out when I can, and hopefully I can very soon, indeed. So that's going to be in my bucket list. It's called Duffield Star Fort area, so very interesting. So all these stars forts, right? John Pounders and David Carrico did a midnight ride years ago on star forts. Me and David Carrico has also done a star fort program. Okay. And when you look at all these specific areas and you look at where we are here, we're not even in America, folks. We're over here in United Kingdom, Russia, you name it. Look at all the star forts. All the names, all the black spots are showing you the star forts. And I've always said this, and I remember saying this comment when I watched that midnight ride that one year. And I said to myself, what is going on? Like, why would there be so many structures? And if you look into the narrative of star forts, a lot of them will say established this time and this year. But if you go back and dig, there'll be some gaps in time. Some of them will say they was established in 1600. But if you go back, the original base or the foundation before it was destroyed was built or established in 1200 or 1100, a couple hundred years before the so-called folks established it, right? Well, my theory is on this, my 2 cents, right, is what if there's things that come upon the water? They talk about the Atlanteans, they talk about Thoth, they talk about the things that are coming out of the water. We mentioned that earlier, talking about Tic Tac in the movie The Abyss. What if that's all like correlated with some type of subliminal messaging that is embedded into our brains to be able to say, hey, it's just all folklore, it's all just mythology, it's all just entertainment for our eyeballs, right? And when you look at this principle and you think about it and you look at the whole aspect of it, like what is really going on? And you look and see the star forts. Well, what I thought is what if there was an enemy or something that was underneath the earth, subterranean realms, water reservoir, whatever you want to call it, the depths of the ocean. And what if these star forts, this is why they have so many here in this region of the world, what if, just what if, that is what we're looking at here? What if periodically throughout time, the old folks of old knew about the star forts and knew about these strategic locations that things come upon the earth, and let's just say Tic Tacs, UFOs, Vietnamas, you name it. What do we got coming on here, right? And let's just say here, hypothetical, let's just have some more fun here. Let's just say these locations, these Navy bases, air bases and everything, they have interest. Well, let's zoom in and see all these star forts. And I want to direct everybody my attention here. The western side has no star forts, but the eastern side has all kinds of star forts inland, on this side. But let's just look at the one at the top here. And this is not too far from whenever I just showed that tweet from X speaking about drone incursions here. So let's just go to this fort here. So we'll get everybody to look and see what a star fort looks like. Some of them can be small, some of them can be large. Some of them can be still fortified to this day. And you see that they always had residential areas, apartments, hotels, whatever you want to call it. And you can see the indention and the depth of it right here. And you can see how some of them are built with water around them. This has got a bridge going accessibility right to the fort. What is going on? I have a lot of speculation on this. I could think cosmological. Somebody had some type of topography or something from an aerial view to be able to cut this out, whatever. What is it? Are we looking at aliens, UFOs, fallen angel technology? Probably more than likely. But humans might have literally, let's just say speculative here, humans might have got a little bit more smarter throughout history and started combating these things that come up on the earth. And a lot of people be like, well, Brian, where you come up with this at? Well, you can go through all throughout history and start looking up when there was Vimanas, EFAs coming out of the water, and especially through Asia, through Russia, different regions of the earth. And just because we live in good old bluegrass state of America doesn't mean that we can't go back and look throughout the history and look and dig and through some big archives and find this information. So what if these forts are something to the level of a prehistoric world, right? And things that come upon the earth once did take on and have war with humans. What if that's the case here, guys? What if? I do a what if program here all the time on Visual Disturbance, and I always talk about what if. What's going on here? Really? And a lot of people will be like, well, Brian, I've never knew that there was that many star forts. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of star forts in that region. And it's just compelling to me. It really is something to marvel after because the endeavor on this is unbelievable. Just let's go to another one. Let's go to another one here. There's many here at this location. And usually when I've looked in my research, they're all either on a body of water, around a body of water, and they'll be in the oceans I've seen islands have them, and the Bermuda Triangle, we're going to be bringing that up on Sunday Night Live. There's a lot of interesting stuff here, folks. And here's one right here. This one's called Sonderborg Castle. And see what they did? They built, literally fortified. You can see the indentions. They built a castle around it. It makes you wonder. It makes you go, because our reality has been skewed. A lot of things have been hidden. And I think a lot of things are coming to the light now when it comes to information overload. So yeah, I mean, just get a little brief overview because we could stay here all day just rambling on about star forts. But as you can see here, this whole region is ate up significantly with all kinds. And this is the Black Sea all the way down. We've got a lot here. We're inundated with fortifications of an ancient days or whatever. And I remember when David and John brought that up at the NACTV, it's the Great North, because you talk about the firmament, you talk about the heliocentric, you talk about the Great North, and you have different things that just make you wonder, because all this stuff is associated in one shape or form of something. And if you go out here to America, you don't hardly see any. Well, you do see a few. Let me try to see if I can get a better angle here. Sorry, folks. The red indicator lights here, the bullseyes, once again, are all military bases, and the black stars are fortifications of star forts. And you see on this area here, let me turn off the ley lines one moment. I think I can do that, maybe. Let's see. There we go. Now let me turn off the military bases too, so y'all can get a better look at the star forts. One moment, folks. There we go. So as you can see here, let's zoom in. You see all these, right? So we have some of the Bermuda Triangle. Gotta love that. But you got all these up here, all this activity going on, okay, in Russia, everything you see. I just seen a tweet earlier that there was something going on in Crimea. There was some explosions out that way, right? When you go on the East Coast here, you look through all this, you can see all the way down into the Florida, the Cuba, Jamaica, all these areas, right? And see, all these black indicators are star forts. Well, you got one in the middle, it's Fort Union. And then you have this one up here with Alaska, speaking of Fort Stevens. And this has all been hot topic right now in Russia. Well, they said they had fighter jets over in the Alaska area. Well, if you go back and listen to NACTV and FOJC, we talked about Fort Stevens quite a bit. And we think there's a direct connection. I've even speculated, too, that the Tartarians and something about this was, and I think Brother David brought this up, that there was something about Fort Stevens, if my memory serves me correct, that it once was owned by Russia. I think they made claims to that, if I'm not mistaken. And all these star forts are just so, there's a bridge to this, there's a water embankment usually, so you got trench warfare. Come on, I mean, it's the perfect thing. It just makes you wonder on a military scale what is going on in reality. So not only we only have one star fort over here on the western part of America, we have nothing else, and you have a few here in other countries, but nothing else. But you go on down this side, you go on down into South America, you see some, but you go out here, you hardly see in Africa, but they're all really just navigating to this one isolated area. It's huge. Don't get me wrong, it's a huge area. What is your all's take on that? What do you guys think about star forts? Does anybody know anything about them? Anybody out there an expert in this field? Have you been to a couple star forts? I'd like to know. I really would like to know. So, let me say, moving on here. Let me get that out of the way. Yeah. Let me pull up the chat because I'm supposed to be engaging with the chat. Remember, no clickbait. Come on now, folks. Super chat. Super chat. Oh, thanks again for everybody that donated the super chats. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to get a thing. There was a gentleman that does a YouTube channel. He goes, super chat, super chat. Oh. Greetings to you also. Greetings to you. You caught my attention with that name. I don't know where you're from, but my mother goes by that name. Yeah, so very interesting. Greetings to you too. I will take questions too, by the way, too. Let me see. Fort Union, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. Oh, connect this to the ley lines? Oh, well, that was the doctor has made a comment. I've got to make that happen. Yep. Let's get back into that. Well, if you're just now tuning in, it's a sporadic program tonight. We are discussing random things that's going on the Earth, and we want to know, hey, are we getting a UFO invasion? Is the fake alien invasion upon us? Are we getting ready to take the Project Bluebeam to another level? Are we getting ready to transcend to the new Earth? According to New Age theology, theosophy. Well, I can't even speak right now. My tongue's tied. I told you guys I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm enduring. Sorry to put so much emphasis on that, but I'm like trying to navigate through all this too with a lot of pain here. So, one moment, folks. One moment. All right. So let's go to the ley lines. Let's go back to the ley lines. The doctor asked for it. Let's drive it. Let's go back to that. Let's turn the ley lines on and see if anybody knows anything about the ley lines. I've looked at it when it comes to sacred energy level lines. I've even looked in some people in esoteric knowledge thinking it was something to do with the powers that be. There was energy sources, these earth energies that would take over these certain locations. And there was a demonic, let's just say there was a demonic presence with it, folks. I wouldn't say that I'm ecstatic about speaking about this particular topic. It's not like I'm going around worshiping the ley lines, but they are intriguing when it comes to earth energies and the megalithic structures of this world. So let's get back on Denmark. So if you have the ley line, this ley line goes right through it. And I thought that was really interesting because it's the center point here and they're all splitting off. So this whole area is a hot zone. So, my goodness, this would be even through Poland, through Germany, through the border of Germany. They were speaking about these drones flying over these areas. I mean, really, folks, I keep saying in repetitive mode here, repeat, really what's going on? What is really going on? What is it? And when I think about this, the Data was mentioning the ley line connection. I always look for strategic areas, and let's turn back on the, let's go back to the Army bases. I'm going to make sure I turn that back on if I haven't. There they are, yeah. So it's not too far, and I always read this when I read and did research on it. Even if it's not that if it's in about, I think you can go even a range of 100 miles. But if it's in close proximity, there's still some type of magnetic field or something to that measure that these ley lines have, let's just say, some type of tie back to the ancient world. So if you look at this air base here, it's not too far. I can take a ruler and measure the measurements here for everybody. Let's see here. Let's just go down. I mean, it's literally 28 miles, 30 miles tops, rounded up to 30 miles, 28 miles and some change. It's very, very compelling. So let's just zoom in on the air base. Why not? This is supposedly one that was on the radar, I believe. And, you know, like one of my family members always says, paper mache, folks. It just looks like a big old blurry image. But you have to understand, for security, I get it. So, respect. But there's a lot of territory here, a lot of real estate that's blurred out. And there's your air base. So, yeah. And then you have like the other fortifications we talked about. I don't even know if we went to this fort. We didn't even go to these two star forts. I think these are pretty big, if I'm not mistaken. I think this one goes along. I think it kind of goes along in this area, if I'm not mistaken. They're pretty large real estate area. Like this one, for example. This is a fort. Look at the star fort on this one, folks. Look how big it is. I mean, this is giant. They literally have a city in it. So it's pretty much this whole area, the fortification on that. Could you imagine? So what are we looking at here? Ancient Atlantis? What are we looking at? I mean, we can only speculate. We can only go down so many rabbit holes that we could possibly even imagine. But something there to just kind of tie in to this program, this broadcast tonight. I wasn't even going to plan on doing Google Earth, but here we are. Here we are. So this is the hot zone right now, folks. This is the big drone incursion. And according to the count, somewhere out here, somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere out there, this big body of water, the North Sea, I've heard commentary that there's a giant mothership, and that's what they code word, mothership. And they're saying that the claims are that they're passing through, that's where the drones are going back to, and it's the same exact narrative. The exact same. So, where are we at? Where are we at really, folks? Where are we at? And let's move on here. If anybody else has any more questions about the Google Earth imagery, I will go somewhere if y'all want me to. I will join on the coordinates train. Put the longitude, latitude in. What is the best star? What is that? Betty Blevins. What is a star fort used for? And, well, military applications. And that's what I'm saying. They would have, a lot of them have water built around them if they're inland. And a lot of them are built around small islands or like the Bermuda Triangle. That's a hot topic right now with the hurricane coming in. And then you see, as we see these large bodies of water, these continents that have star forts all over these main access points to get to these huge countries. So really we've got something going on here. I mean, really do. I mean, it's boggling the mind. It is. Tammy, Ireland, I'm late, y'all. Well, thank you for being here. I just caught that, so. All right. Like, you're not your typical visual disturbance program, but if you're just now new here, like, share, subscribe, all this good stuff. Yeah. Thank y'all for being here. Let's jump back in and see what's going on in the breaking news realm. More drones spotted near airport. There's more reports about that, like we keep reiterating through this whole broadcast. I've already talked about that. Okay. But like I said, what if? What if these things come up on the earth periodically throughout these little cataclysms or famines or military applications or wars, rumors of wars or what have you? And to me, just to throw one more thing into the mix of the star forts, I remember coming across something in March of 2021, and I remember the powers that be got together and all had this. They found some type of document. This is the claim. They had some type of document with it, And they was reading it, going through it, and looking and trying to translate it through AI mechanisms even back then, and speaking about that it had prior knowledge and had information about future events when it comes to the reality of this adversary they kept referring to. There's going to be this great adversary that we have to go and fight against, because last time we lost. And I remember coming across that in March 2021 and said we lost, and we went to Antarctica to find this so-called relic and scroll or something to that level, and was talking about things that come up out of the water. There was so much speculation. It was so much fluff to it. You know, it's hard to even see if it was even credible. Okay. But my point is, they said they couldn't lose, and all the so-called people that was in the treaty was discussing how can we fight something. And, you know, my mind races to that one point of what I just referred to earlier. You have the alien narrative, this whatever it is, psyop, whatever's going on, fake invasion, whatever you want to call it, re-engineered, humans have been re-engineering some type of advanced technology, whatever you want to throw into it. But it's interesting that we are at this focus point of 2025. It's really 4 years later from my so-called account. And here we are. We got drone incursions. We got wars. We got all kinds of different things that are going on in our skies. And a lot of people are like, well, it doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does. It kind of does. I want to thank everybody for being here, too. There's a lot of people in the chat tonight. And I want to thank, there's Dan. Good shout out to Dan. And, but yeah, let's get back into it. Okay, that's really bad. There was some breaking news that I will not disclose on this program. Yeah, you know how it is. There's always something. So let's go back to an incursion with the mystery drones. This one's supposedly reported in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. And let's just look at this video footage. It's kind of, this one's a different one. It's kind of a compilation of other videos, but let's watch this one. Check this out, folks.
I natt. Politiet sier det ikke 100% sikkert at det var en drone, men det sett I natt. Politiet sier.
But yeah, there you have it, folks. We got light orbs. We got interdimensional beings. And what's really interesting, what pulls the rug out from under my feet and make me fall backwards and start laughing, me and Brother David are going to be talking about something here this Sunday night. Something that's going on in China that is underneath the ground, that is pre-existing, but they put a containment unit around it, and it has some type of orb-like energy and some type of like thing that is, let's just say, radiating energy around it. The wheels and the wheels, folks. And it's something that's supposedly changing our scientific paradigm. That's the claim. We're going to be discussing that on Sunday Night Live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you get an opportunity to check that out on FOJC, you'd be glad you did. I'm trying to get my second wind back on in me. My second wind. Let me get a cup of coffee here. Not your typical well-versed program, but because this is what we're supposed to be doing here today. This is because we're talking about, if you're just now tuning in, is the world ready? Is the world ready for, facing the truth that we've been, let's just say, cultivating in our brains a certain ideology, and now when it comes back to the biblical narrative, and you look at the ancient texts of antiquity, there's things that are going bump in the night now, and things that are in the skies that the Bible was literally screaming off the page and telling you the stories of old that was documented for mankind for consumption to navigate through our reality with. That's what I like to gravitate to, because when you think about the Ezekiel wheel, the chariots of fire, and you think about the things that are coming upon the earth when men's hearts will fail them, and I thought I will just say this before we get off here this evening, it makes you wonder, because it's almost like they're like wanting you to fear it, wanting you to get involved, wanting you to think about it, wanting you to always have it on your mind. And I know we report on a lot about it here on this channel, but it's to inform you not to be caught up in the rhetoric. You know, when we think we when we marvel after certain movies and we think that after we get done watching it, we're all pumped and everything. We got all of our subliminal messaging in our blood and our veins, and we're getting ready to turn into Hulk or whoever it is after we watched him for 2.5 hours. And we're like, I can't wait to time travel and walk through the walls because I'm so strong right now. That's how they get us, man. That's how they get us. That's how they get us through subliminal messaging and make us believe that we're Superman, and we're not. So it pulls on our strings, and the rest is history after that point, because you and we are so easy manipulated. So on this channel, we always warn folks that these things are hiding. And now in 2025, they're showing their full cards, and we're sitting back trying to take pictures of them, which I have too. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but trying to shoot them down or hit them with a ballistic missile or a Hellfire missile. Did you see that footage that I put on here with the UAP congressional hearing not too long ago, a couple weeks back? When you hit a Hellfire ballistic or Hellfire missile, one of the most powerful Hellfire missiles that we have at our disposal, and it takes the drone or the orb and it just kind of shifts and turns into a multitude of different drones to protect the main one. Folks, we got us a problem. We got us a problem in interdimensional concept and interdimensional reality, and I think that's what they're trying to make us do. They're trying to make us really think and focus on things that we have never seen and perceived, but the ancients did. Our ancient ancestors did. Come on, everybody, think about it. Our ancestors of old seen these things. Even if you go back to the days of Noah, if they're those. No telling what days of Noah was there. Noah probably seen these things flying all the time, and it was probably like, there's the fallen, there's the fallen, there's the fallen. Now we're trying to calm them down with, we put some eye patches on our eyes, and we do little psionics, and we call them forth, and we try to play around with them. And I think that's strange. I think it's strange to me. I really do. I think that's really wild to me. I don't really know. I really don't even know. I don't even know where to go with that. When you get into shamanism and different things to that level, which I would never will, but I've read them enough. I read in shamanism, and you think about how they was able to articulate and call forth things down in their peripheral and call down with their neurological stance, with their brain, when they would do something nefarious to their pineal gland, and they make stuff actually manifest in front of them. So folks, it's a spiritual world. Okay, and we're now mixing and blending the tech and the spiritual application into our reality. So with 40 minutes ago, we talked about it. We talked about a specific thing, a black hole, wormhole, whatever you want to call it, down the toilet hole. They're saying that we are going through this transition in our magnetic fields, and that's why people are going off and running down the road butt naked and stripping their clothes off and running through the Walmarts and, tearing up and destroying property. It's because they're claiming, no joke, this is the claim, that our magnetic fields are off, that everybody's feeling it, the animals are feeling it, the airplanes are feeling it. I mean, seriously, I've heard so much rhetoric on the airwaves. It'll make your brain numb, right? And when you look at this whole reality and the whole concept of it, and I always say this on the channel, there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. As it was. Right? And here we in the days of Noah 2.0. We're resurrecting the dodo bird. We're resurrecting the mammoth. We're resurrecting the saber-tooth. On and on and on and on and on you go. And where's it going to stop? Nobody knows, right? And it's just, it's the Truman Show on steroids with a little mix of hybridization program, let's just say UFO phenomenon, and our donations. Seriously, that's what they call them. Donation craft. And we're like, I don't think we can handle it. I made the title of it tonight, Is the World Ready? I really don't genuinely think it, folks, because we don't know how special we are. That's the problem. We don't know how special we are. We've been told that we're not. I actually have been told that to my face when I was youngster. Actually, well, take that back. When I was young and in at least teenager years and younger adult years, that I was nothing, right? So could you imagine when you think about in the academia world and other means of all that? Could you imagine how that tears everybody down, and you're not able to do things because you've been so ridiculed and destroyed just mentally, and it psychologically wears you down. So that's why we on this channel always try to be upbeat and say, hey, endure to the end. Even if you're in pain like I am today, even if you're going through the grind and going through things, whatever type of reality you're going through, fear not. Fear not. Like when these things are coming upon the earth and people are saying, hey, look at the 3-eye atlas, look at this, look at that, look at this. That doesn't mean we get in dismay and sit there and just say, hey, why is life's over, isn't it? No. If there's they've been saying there's comets coming down and hitting the ground, they're all greenish blue, and they'll seal it all off, and it never hits daylight. There's not a crater or nothing on the ground. But don't even get me started on that one. But it's just so much coming at us. Mankind is not meant to hold so much on their shoulders. But getting back to that special part, we're built in an image of God. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people are like, oh man, Brian, Visual Disturbance starting to go back and preach now. It's called we love our Father in heaven. We love the ability to speak. We take for granted when we just get up out of the bed every morning, and we've been freely given so many things. But here's the part that's really stunning to me. We forgot who we are. We forgot that we have abilities. We've been told that we ain't no good. And now here comes the replacement that thinks they're superior. And when you look at the AI applications, advancements, aliens or whatever, they're watching. What do you think the terminology is called? Watchers. These things need us to be able to operate. Have you ever thought about that? They need us to operate. When you look into possession and different things in those mechanisms, they need us to run things. Isn't that scary to think about? And it's so, like I said earlier about manipulation, we're so easy to jump on the bandwagon and do things, and we give them consent, and we're foolish in our mindset. We're foolish in our thinking. And I just think it's interesting that I made the comment at the beginning of the program talking about the knowing like what's really going on, or reality, speaking upon different things, and thinking about the attributes or characteristics and what they actually are looking for. Has anybody ever thought about it? They want you to be angry. They want you to be sad. They want you to be happy whenever there's an ad. That just rhymed. That just happened. They want you not to be joyful. Just think about that. Be joyful in the day. Be joyful in everything that you do, that you apply, and see what the results will be. Like, let it cometh. Let them come. Let them come out of the cracks and the crevices of the tic-tac shape, UFO, aqua life, whatever, looking like something off Poseidon Greek mythology. Let it come. Let it come. Because if you look at the biblical narrative, look through all out history, and look at the book of Enoch, they be like, what's going on here? And Enoch be rolling and walking amongst the angels, and they had to listen to him. And he's a fleshly man. Just think about that for a minute before we go down the thinking that we're useless. We're not. We're not. There's a lot here. I could go down for another 2 hours on this program, but keep your head on a swivel, because we don't know if the Vimanas, the Ilfanas, the Ifas, whatever you want to call it now, we're going to call it the TT3S 129er, triangle shape, square shape, red cube shape back in the George Washington days. I learned that from Tyler Gilreath off the Liberty Code. Go check that episode out whenever we was going to break the code and disclosure. Yeah. Red cube coming down, crashing. What's going on, folks? I mean, really, what is it, like Tron on steroids? I've talked about that many times here because that movie's coming out in October, but it makes you wonder, has the veil been pulled over our eyes? Have we been completely just babied-fied to nothing? Like, literally not giving us any information? Have we been secluded throughout history, and God only knows how many, probably since the garden, and manipulated, I'm talking about the Garden of Eden. How much manipulation has it really happened? How much? How much? Because there's somebody pulling on those sin strings and get us to go into tribalistic mode, get us to act ignorant, get us to act lethargic, get us to act to just this state of mind of just pure evil. Think about it. And if you say I know what's right and I know what's wrong, can I get my head right? And we hear these code words, and everybody goes running full swing to the finish line to be tribalistic, to be barbaric, and I think that's insane to me. And we are being cultivated in our neural pathways when we look at these screens and look at all this stuff that's coming at us, frequency, whatever you want to call it, these radio waves, airwaves. We are getting pushed into something, consciously running into over the cliff like in Mark 5. We are literally getting pushed into a narrative that we didn't choose, but we gave over. We gave our consent. Think about that. Think about it. When there's a 10,000 page report, you push check, you don't read those 10,000 words. You don't. We ain't got time, right? Just saying. I've done it too, so I've done it. I'm not a hypocrite. I've done it too. So, when you think about this and you think about the reality and you evaluate the whole thing like a panorama, and recall, there's a lot to chew on, a lot to really focus on. Because if there's powers that be that are in our airways, and literally our, we got our airspaces being closed down, the UFO phenomenon being hyped up again, the drone incursions. I would just say this, we've talked about it here many times, when Beatrice the astronomer, young lady, brought that information, I could not believe it. When you had the iron dome-like, grid-like pattern above, and there's these cylinder, circle-like shapes in the sky that she claimed that was hundreds to thousands of years old, maybe even from the beginning. When she made that claim, and she's looking into UFO activity from, I think it was 1949 and 1958, I thought it was wild to me. That just blew my mind, like beyond my mind blown. And so technological advancements. So we have AI, which I will just say this, I say we woke it up. If you go back to the ant people and you look at that story and you look at these huge heads that look like it's just a gigantic head looking like something off of Brainiac or something off one of the silly cartoons or movies. They said they used to communicate with this stone head, and everybody, whoever it is, if you're whatever type of nationality you was, you walk up to it and communicate in your native language. Isn't that interesting? And I think we've just, once again, we went too far. Somebody has cracked the code and done something that they shouldn't be playing around with. And wanting this instead of thinking with this, like taking this and then something of a superior authority or of intellect or a higher IQ to be able to manipulate and change things. And now here we are living in La La Land, and it's the magical world of, down the rabbit hole we go, and people can't focus. And that's why I always think on this channel, thought-provoking conversation. And like I said, I'm not pointing fingers. I failed all these tasks. All these things I'm saying, I've done it, got the t-shirt 20,000 plus times, and I'm just trying to make sure that my time on earth here, I'm trying to make sure there'd be a lot of the world here and just help out and be a good human. That's all I'm asking, just to be a good human. I'm asking myself the same thing. Can we just be a good human? I just want to say that. Can we be good humans? Can we? And I think this is we're being tested. We are being tested with these incursions, whether this interdimensional hypothesis, whatever we're doing, we're being judged and tested. Okay, we got to look and fight our battles. We got to look and fight this spiritual war. It's not against flesh and blood; it's against spirit principalities. We got to get our head right. We got to be able to figure out and articulate, like, what are we doing? We need to stop being manipulated. A lot to chew on there. Let's go to the chat. Let's see. I'm scrolling back a little bit there, folks. Let's see. Aliens in my backyard. I hear ya. Oh, Pamela. This one's a good one. Okay, let me zoom that in there. There we go. Wow. So, have you seen Mark Fairchild video on YouTube? He speaks of so many Bible finds in Turkey. He travels there 2 to 3 times a year. His findings are amazing. It's interesting to me, if you just now, I don't know how long you've been in this program, but it's interesting to me that they just signed that nuclear deal. The U.S. signed that nuclear deal with Turkey for advancements, with technological advancements for reactors and nuclear facilities. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Just throwing it out there. Yeah, because, that just reminded me about the Turkey. I understand where you're coming from there. There's a lot of archaeology. There's so much stuff when it comes to biblical stuff. I mean, everywhere. A lot of people don't realize this. Everywhere you can find civilizations from Tartaria, from Egypt, from China, you name it, everything. I'm talking about Kentucky. And a lot of people out there be like, man, Kentucky there ain't nothing down there, man. There ain't nothing in there. Just a bunch of hollers and bluegrass. That's how we talk, right? And I'm being sarcastic. Not all Kentuckians talk like that. I do sometimes. Well, a lot of people on here are like, man, where are you from, man? But I would say there's Hindu culture, Hinduism. I've found Hinduism artifacts in the western side of Kentucky. Excuse me, eastern side. There's so much to chew on. Egyptian artifacts. It's stunning. The word is stunning. Sarcophaguses, everything. It's stunning. Mind-blowing, folks, where we're at. We're a mind-blowing world. And we've been taught a certain way of understanding, and we've been given over to things that have put us in bondage. I would say that. And the biblical sense has been just all around underground for forever. And we're just now playing catch up. I really do think that we're just playing catch up. And Craig Hagan, Kentucky got a lot of basketball schools. Yeah, they do. That's why I'm not even going to mention a certain team, but everybody gets really adamant about that. I don't get much into sports like I used to. I used to all those years ago, but it's just not my forte anymore. Not my thing. But yeah, Kentucky has its mysteries. Indeed, Kentucky has its mysteries. But could you imagine? This is the fun moment. Could you imagine an orb or something come out of the ground? Man, that's got that's a big old shelter coming out there. That's exactly how some of the natives would be. And I'm not mocking anybody. Listen, I sound like that sometimes. When I go back and listen to my shows, it's like, man, I went full-blown hillbilly on that program. But I can only imagine. We got us a heat signature down here in north. We got the south side of Kentucky here. We got a doozy. We got a magnetic shift in the earth and the planet. I can only imagine. Call the National Guard, call the USA. Well, we can't because they're on a Galactic Federation tour. That's what we'll be saying. They're on a secret meeting. We're on our own, boys. I have to laugh a little bit before I get off here, but could you imagine that though? And I really do think that we've been reconned. This area has been reconned all throughout America, guys. I could go on a rant all night, and I've looked at many different sites, different things that just make your mind go to imaginative mindset. You look at the history of different. There's there's petroglyphs. There's different things that are just so stunning to me. So stunning. I mean, you got snake imagery. It looks like something off of Kukulkan or, in the Mayans or the Chichen Itzas and different places to those strategic locations here in Kentucky. And, the Mayans, the Olmecs, we got it, you name it. And I'm not kidding you. Like the Nubian warriors, I've still got to do a program on that. I've promised this person out in the North Carolina region that I would do that. I promised them, and I've been working on it for like a year now. Big shout out to them if they know where I'm know who I am. Somebody in the chat said you got to speak in Kentuckian.
Well, you uns come down there, you hear now? You come up on them mountains and you see that. If you see them big models, come up there and, man, I'll get you some.
Y'all get me going on this one tonight. Y'all get me going.
But a little gray man, them little Hopkinsville, Kentucky, them little green men come up there and we have us a festival down there in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me going. There's my little fun, humor, entertainment for this program. But y'all get to know who I am too. I like to be serious when I need to be, but I love to joke around like 99.9% of the time because my world has been rattled for the past 6 or 7 years. And go back and watch some of the testimonies. I've talked about that on many platforms. And I've just been, it's been interesting. I've been kind of laying around, waiting and observing and seeing things in a different light when you're disconnected from reality a little bit. Well, I'm not saying reality, excuse me. I'm talking about the obscured reality, when it comes to the world and being inundated daily. Sometimes it's interesting to go out in public because it feels like you walk through a different, it's like time dilation happened. You walk through a portal and you end up in an alternate universe. That's what it feels like to me sometimes. And I'm not making fun of anybody. That's how I perceive it sometimes. Very strange indeed. Yeah. So, speaking of that, did you know that they're talking about that now? They're talking about alternate universes. So much insanity, I can't even make it. I can't make it up. Let me see. I was going to show them one more thing that I've lost it, but I think we pretty much covered all the bases when it comes to this certain breaking news with these drones. And is there anything y'all want me to talk about that you guys would like for me to speak about? And let's go. We got 5 minutes on the clock and all capitalized letters. And thank you all so much for the donations tonight too and the super chats. I really do appreciate that so very much. And thanks for the support and the love. And just even to share this out and like this and like it, I really do appreciate it. And there's like a lot of people here tonight. So God bless you guys for being here at the Visual Disturbance channel. Earlier, I'm not going to lie to you, when I was doing the Google Earth imagery, I was losing my flavor. I was like hurting so bad. I'm like, I don't know. I might have to cancel the broadcast. I might have to shut it off. But I got my second or third or fourth wind in me. And now we're on borrowed time right now. So the Battleship Galactica theme goes off. I'm not even going to... Bill. Yeah. But anybody have a question? Because I'll take a few questions. 5 minutes on the clock. Come on now, folks. Carl Bill. Big shout out to Carl Bill. I think I've seen you in the chat before. Definitely strange times indeed. Kathy, I missed your live. I'm so upset. Bless you. Well, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the broadcast here. Welcome to the broadcast. The Doctor, the multiverse from Marvel Comics. Truly love the good Doctor Doom narrative. Oh man, Jeff McBride, God bless you. Rolling. Mrs. Berryman, I was just alluding to that earlier. I'm still going through it. Still going through a little bit of visual. I've always go through that every day pain, but I'm going through it a little bit. My back and everything's been out on me, but yeah, we don't want to get into that negativity up on this channel. We've already talked about the controversial topics here and stuff that make you run for the hollers of Kentucky and go buy, find you a good old cabin that's been abandoned for 100 years and sit back and watch the fireworks go off. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm seeing. Go find you a cave. Go find you a cave. 55 degrees all year round. You can't make it up. You out in the strange time. The Swamp Light. Hadn't seen you for a minute. Get your Kentucky on. Texas Hoss. Good. God bless you. There's a lot of people in the chat tonight. Thank you all for so very much for your kindness tonight and encouragement. I don't know where all these people came from, but bless you. Thank you all for being here on the Visual Disturbance channel. Yeah. The Kentuckian Hour. I like to do impressions, and I try my best. And I told my wife one day, I was like, look, the only way I can change my accent is if I go to another country and learn a different language and be there for like 10 years.
Man, I'll be talking like that. Could y'all imagine if I do a show like this 24/7? Man, welcome to Visual Disturbance. How's everybody doing out there?
Oh, Vince from Phoenix. Keep it real, man. Could y'all imagine, though?
Man, we got some booger up there, and that drone, it come down there and started hitting them cattle and cattle mutilations right there in the backyard, man.
Nez Lover, good seeing you. Oh, but yeah, there's so many people in the chat here tonight. I thank y'all so much for being here. And Dr. Doom goes up against the Fantastic Four. Oh, wait, yeah. But yeah, I hope it was fun and entertaining, but also I hope it was informative, because there's a lot of interesting things that are going on in our realm. And a lot of things to keep your head in prayer about, like literally praying about these things that are coming upon the earth, and just really focusing on your walk. Like, who are you? What you're doing? How are you doing? How you treating your neighbor? How you treating the folks down the street? How you treating your coworker? And if you don't like them at all, that doesn't mean you do them wrong. And I think that's what's going on right now, folks. I think we're being tested on the highest level of spiritual warfare, all of the above. And we need to get our heads right and really just focus on the main goal. Yeah, Striker, we got you, brother. Yeah, thank you so much. Simply Godly Living Homestead. Amazing broadcast. Thank you so very much. It was a little rough there. There was a few moments where I thought I was going to have to bail. And not on you guys. I mean, there's been a few times back in the day I would literally get up during the program. Yeah, I'd be like, well, it's time to go. I would go lay down because my eyes was all messed up. That has happened. It's not happened in a long time, but I kid you guys not. I think I took them and put them in private mode. But there was a few episodes where I just get up in the seat, abruptly get up, and it'd be right in the middle of a giant. I'll be talking about, the giants of a particular location. I'll be talking about geography or whatever, a certain, topography map or whatever, and I'll be like, I gotta go. And I get up and leave the stream and then come back. Hey, everybody, welcome to Visual Disturbance. That's happened a couple of times, and I think I took them down in private modes. I don't want people think something's wrong with me. But there is some things wrong with me, but endure to the end, folks. Endure to the end. But fun times indeed, fun times. But anyways, I want to thank you all so very much for being here. And welcome to the Visual Disturbance Channel. There's a lot of newcomers. I know there's a lot of new folks here. I don't know where y'all came from, who sent you, but I want to thank you all so very much for being part of this broadcast tonight. It's genuinely, I hope y'all can hear it through the airwaves. Thank you. I genuinely mean that. Thank y'all so very much for being here and being part of this channel and walking this out with me. But yeah, thank you all very much. Thank you for so much of the love and support. Share this thing out. I think I'm going to end this. Well, on a good note, be of good cheer, and don't fear, and try to keep your head crystal clear. I don't know where I come up with this. It just comes out of nowhere. But seriously, genuinely, I hope you all have a blessed day. Be blessed. Keep it fresh, keep it real. Stay away from the golden arches. You know what I'm talking about. And a little spray, make it go cray, and I think that's what's going on with the magnetic fields. Get you a blue tarp. And this is all sarcasm toward the end here. If you don't know me for a long time, I like to joke around. Dodging lasers, dodging spray, make you go cray. And now we got to dodge black holes, drones, and hold on to your... I don't even know how to rhyme with all that. But anyways, y'all keep it real out there. Thank y'all so much for being part of the Visual Disturbance channel. And just like and share. And hit me up in the email. I'm going to have some special guests on here soon, some speakers. And I hope y'all enjoy the live shows of engaging with a interview process here on Visual Disturbance. It's going to be coming up in a matter of weeks. And another thing, I want to pray to God that you guys have a great week, what's left of it. So thank y'all so very much for being here with me on Visual Disturbance channel. And thank you for enduring with me and going through some ups and downs. And what an honor and what a privilege it is to speak in front of you guys And I want to give a big shout out to, I see you all out there. I see somebody out there. Real quick before I get off here, there's a couple people that, well, there's actually several people that I met at SpiracyCon face to face in the flesh and blood, and I got to meet their families and everything. I know who you are. I seen y'all, and y'all sent me something so cool in the mail the other day or today, and I got a cool shofar in the mail. And bless you, and bless the grandchildren, all of them, all the kindness in that box. And I seen you all in real life, and you all are very kind to me, and you guys are just good people. So I thank you all. Big shout out to all you guys, and thank you for attending with me here tonight and being part of the Visual Disturbance channel. Went a little long, but it was well worth it. But until next time, if the world don't plunder into the black hole sewage, I'm Brian Reese of Visual Disturbance. I will see you on the next one. Until next time, see y'all later. See you on the next one.
Got one that can see.